Hey guys, it's Mr. Eisens here. I just wanted to do a little procedures video on what you can expect for online classes. You can expect a few different rules once we finally get into the classroom. We'll have to do this a little bit again for those of you that do show up there, but if you're in my online only class, then this is all you're probably going to need. So, anyways, let's get into it. Procedures in Mr. Eisens' science room. All right, here we go. So, number one, guys, I just really want you to know that we are a team, okay? Not just me and you, but me, you, and everyone else in the classroom. Okay, we are working together. And what I want you guys to take, your main takeaway to be a good teammate. Help each other out. All right? If you can help someone out, help them understand the content, that is great with me. Now, of course, we don't want any cheating, but I want you to be able to call upon one another because teaching the material shows mastery of learning that material. So don't be afraid to get some little study groups going and such. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit about the difference between cheating and studying or helping each other out. But you should know the difference by now. Let's keep on going. But remember, be a good teammate. All right, so just a little line. I know some of you will be like, "What? This doesn't make sense. 1+1 = 2, Mr. Eisens. It's not 3." And so, by being a good teammate, by making each other better, and challenging yourself and doing your best, together we can make more. We can be more than the sum of our parts. And so, by helping each other out, by talking with one another, we're not only going to improve just a little bit, but a lot. Okay, the more cooperation, the more we have communication between one another, we're going to go way past where we ever could by ourselves. Okay, so again, a big teamwork guy. I do coach, and so this is what I preach also, either on the field or on the court or on the track. All right, so work together because we're better. Everything's better together. All right, and communicate. So first things first, the first thing that I need you to do when we get into Schoology, and I'm going to flip over to Schoology here in a second, is we need to get our warm-ups in. Okay, so when we go into our folders in Schoology, we go to our daily folder, we need to get done our warm-up folder. Okay, this is how we're doing attendance this year. And so I really need you to accomplish, usually it's just going to be a couple questions, maybe one, maybe two, maybe three. Some will be open response, some will be multiple choice. This is how we're doing attendance, and so this is really, really important. If you don't want a phone call to your parents or an email to your parents saying, hey, whoever it was, Johnny didn't show up to the class today or did not complete any work. All right, these warm-ups are super important. This is how we're doing attendance. Now, sometimes we'll have, that doesn't mean these are the only assignments you'll get. You will get assignments as well, but keep these in mind that these are not optional. You got to complete them and turn them in. All right. This just really helps out the building and how we take attendance now, since it's going to be a little bit different, especially for the first 2 weeks. All right, so you need to show up. You need to this is how you're going to do that. Do your warm-ups. And I think we covered everything on this slide. So let's just keep on going. I'm just going to actually right now, let's just hop into the Schoology classroom. And so this is what you're going to see, you guys. When you get into your class, you might have a different icon. I have a different icon just so I can tell the difference between all my classes. But this may be what you see. And so what you're going to do is when you come into your class materials or your agenda, let me open up all of these right now. You're going to have all these agenda, class materials, class information, helpful links all at your disposal. Okay, the week at a glance is super, super nice. I'll show you it right here. This will be the week at a glance for the first week. All right, but basically this just tells you everything that you need to know about what we're doing. All right, down here is everything that we're doing in class. So you can see first day, get to know your teacher video, then you're going to make your own. Okay, and then we move on throughout the week. You have all the information of all the 7th grade science teachers. All right, so you can contact them either by phone or through email. All right, and then we also have some specific times to remember. This will be when our tutoring times are, which we don't have them exactly yet. And then we're also going to have a few other updates. So like if we have a test or if we have something special going on, you guys will know this. Lastly, and really important, is in the middle here is kind of what we're learning, the information that we want you to take away from the week. And so if by the end of the week you look at your week at a glance and you can read this and say, oh, work safely in the science lab, and you know that you can do that, you've learned how to do that, you know what that is, then you're doing great. All right, so you're gonna wanna, this is a great little study tool, just working through, highlighting these and making sure, just tell yourself, read it to it. I can wear appropriate lab attire. You know what that looks like and you know how to do it? Perfect, we're ready to go. All right, so this is what week at a glances will look like. We're gonna have one for every single week. It will be posted, I believe, on Sundays before the regular week. Obviously, we start on Tuesday, so it'll be posted on Monday, but you won't even see this video until like Thursday. So not to confuse you, but these will be posted before the week starts, so you can kind of plan, and that's where I want to go back to my slideshow, because I really want you guys, you're 12 and 13-year-olds now, developing these habits of organization. And you might say, I'm not very organized. Guess what, guys? I'm not very organized either, and I'm still working as an adult, and I wish I had better organizational skills. Now, I've gotten a lot better, and part of that is using a planner. And so I really want to suggest to you guys to do that. And so by using a planner, you're going to be developing a lifelong skill where you're going to set up your week to work for you, as opposed to you being stressed out and kind of having things come out of nowhere and be surprised about them. You're going to be able to work everything out. And honestly, I've found the more scheduled I am, the more I plan throughout the week, the more free time I wind up having. And so I really suggest doing this, especially figuring out when these assignments are, because you want to get that done in an orderly, in a good amount of time, all right? So you don't have to stress out and you don't have to face any consequences either from me or from any other parts like your parents or something like that, all right? So next is going to be respect. Now, obviously online, you guys are not going to be communicating with each other as much as you would be in class, but we will go back to school at some point. All right, and so this is the thing about respect. I got a sign in my room that says respect, all right, and it just comes down to you respecting yourself, okay, respecting your peers, respecting me, and then also the objects in that room, and then our time. All right, and honestly, these 5 things are the only things that I really have trouble with students, and it's very little. I expect a lot from you guys because you guys can do it. You guys can be fantastic. All right, but by doing that, the way that looks is by you're taking care of your own business, you're planning out your own things, you're planning your own studying, okay? You're completing your assignments, you are helping your peers do the same. As well as obviously just not being, or just by treating them nicely, treating them how you want to be treated. All right. I'm going to make sure that happens. All right. That's where kind of I fit into the puzzle, but I want to hear about your day and everything as well. So just make sure we have respect for all the people in the room, and then obviously the materials as well. Okay, in science we use a lot of materials for labs, okay, and that stuff is expensive, and some of it, we as teachers have to buy with our own money and such. So really take care of the things in the room, and then also our time. This is a big one. This is usually what I wind up talking to students about when we have issues. All right, is we're not respecting time, because it's not just your time. Okay, when we're working together, especially in the classroom, it's also my time, and more importantly, the time of the entire class, whoever is there. So if you're wasting that instructional time, you're taking away of the learning of other people. And so usually when there's issues, that's what I'm going to wind up bringing up to you. Okay, I'm going to say, hey, you got to respect the time of the people around you and make sure that they can get that instructional time. All right, so just keep that in mind. Respect's a really big deal to me, and I'll address it as we go, but I think you guys are going to be fantastic. All right, with that respect, we also need to respect our deadlines, okay? And to help you do this, there's got to be some penalties, or there's got to be some type of thing to hold you accountable. I believe holding you accountable is super, super important, because you guys are capable of so much. All right, and so part of that is going to be the late work policy. All right, so if you turn it on time, perfect, you get 100% of your grade. If you turn it in a day late, it's going to take off 20%. So even if you got 100% on your assignment, you're still only going to get a B-. All right, I don't want that to happen for you guys. So let's just make sure that we plan and we take care of our business so that we can turn it in on the correct day. All right, after a couple of days, the percentage goes all the way down to 20 after 4 days. All right, but let's make sure, communicate with me if you have a problem or if something's late, or let's say, you missed the first day and it's at 80%. If you communicate with me and talk to me, we can work something out. All right, a lot of times we can help you out and get you a little more percentage as long as you talk to me. All right, I'm still going to hold you accountable, but as long as we work together as a team, 1 + 1 = 3, all right, we can figure some things out. We can work through some issues. All right, so keep that in mind and always remember to communicate. All right, always remember to communicate. So as we go into class here, we're going to be online. And so turning in our work is going to be really important, and most of that, if not all of it, will be turned in through Schoology. All right, luckily a lot of you dealt with Schoology as 6th graders, and so you've seen a lot of the puzzle pieces are going to be different quizzes or discussion posts or various things that you can turn into Schoology or Google assignments in Schoology. That's basically most of our assignments and what they're going to wind up being. And so that's how we're going to take our grades, and your grade book will be on Schoology as well. So keep that in mind. Again, guys, reach out to me, talk to me. All right, I'm flexible as long as we can communicate. All right, if there's no communication, then I have to assume that you got the information and you just chose or forgot about the information. You forgot about the due dates. All right, and so there I have to hold you accountable. I'm putting the responsibility on you guys. All right, and you can do it. All right, just make sure to communicate with me throughout the whole process, and you're going to do great. You're going to do great in this class. This is just a reminder about homework, that it's not optional here at the bottom, and to do your best, okay? We're not going to assign things just to assign them. All right, if you have a question on why we're learning about something, I will be happy to tell you about why we're learning it, okay? I'm very upfront and honest in how I approach the way that I teach, and so I want you guys to know that. All right, and typically you can just look at the learning objectives for the week, and that's going to be why we're learning about that material. But other side things are going to be, you're setting up habits to help you out once you get older, into high school, into college, okay? Certain habits of how do I learn about something and learning about your learning, okay? So you can maximize that, all right? Like for me, I do really well by listening to things. If I can hear it, I can do a really nice job. Secondary-wise, if I can write it out, I do a really nice job. All right. Now, other people might be very visual learners. They got to see it. All right. I've learned over the years that's not me, and that's what I want you to learn about yourself this year. We'll talk more about that as we go, but that's what I'm talking about when we talk about learning to manage your time. Okay, planners. All right. When are you going to study? If you have extracurricular activities, if you have sports, if you have band, if you have choir, if you have theater, whatever's going on, let's make sure we plan things out accordingly so we can get that homework done. And then we can do the fun things, all right? Quizzes in this class are formative grade. They're worth a little bit more than a regular formative grade, okay, because there's a little emphasis on the material, because quizzes are exactly very, very similar of what you're going to find on the test, okay? I do give you your quizzes or allow you to see them, so that way you can use them to study for the test, but quiz dates are going to be found in Schoology as well as test dates. All the test dates are posted right now. We're still working out when our quizzes will be, but we will let you know, all right? Make sure you practice before these quizzes, as they're worth a double formative grade, and then study for your quiz, okay? Because again, study that quiz after you're done with it, study for that quiz, because it will be on the exam. It's not going away, all right? Speaking of which, material not going away. This is not a class where you study for one test and then you forget all that material. Okay, I've been in those classes, all right? This isn't one of them, all right? This class, what you learn day 1 and what you learn day 100, okay, both could be on your test, all right? So I don't want to confuse you, but whatever we learn, after we've learned it, it could be on the test. I try to be very clear about what information will be on the test, but just realize as we go, the tests are cumulative. That means that they add up. So our first test is just on safety material, okay? But our second test starts to pick up on characteristics of life, why things are living, okay? But you could also see things on safety material because we already took that test, all right? So when you're studying, you're gonna wanna study for the new material and some of the old material. Why do we do this? We do this because you guys are going to be taking high school biology as freshmen. You're also going to be taking a test as an 8th grader that's called the Science STAR test, and you can't just forget this information. All right, by knowing this information, it's going to prepare you for biology, which is a very difficult class in high school, okay, and you're going to be able to pass those tests. All right, so we want you to retain that information for long periods of time. That's why we do this. All right. Tutoring is going to, we're still working out the schedule, and it's very difficult, especially for me and Miss Llewellyn, because we are coaches. Finding a specific time in which we can do tutoring makes it really difficult. So for me, most likely, you guys, it's going to be Wednesday after school, but we're just going to see how it goes here with the scheduling and how athletics gets worked out, and I will definitely post and update you on my tutoring times. All right. Lastly, just a few things that you might want to have at home or when you finally get to class. Having a binder to put all of our notes in when you print off the notes, or I give you a handout of the notes. Great place to keep all of that stuff. Just have a science binder. Okay. We have all of our units. Okay. Our science units. That's why I say 5 dividers. Okay. Because we take 5 tests throughout the year. So we have our safety test. We have our characteristics of life test. We have our classification test. We have our cells test. And then we have our genetics test. That's our first semester. Then we take one big final on that. And then second semester, you flip your binder over and we take 5 more. All right. So that's why I have the five dividers. Again, this is just suggested stuff, but I highly suggest having the binder to put all your stuff in the same spot. Lastly, the way that we study is we use a unit summative assessment. Okay. It's called USA for short. And for every single test, we are going to prepare you by developing a study system so that you can kind of basically figure out what is going to be on the test, what's the important information, take it from your notes, rewrite it, and now you're ready. It's a quick, easy access, especially once we get to that, 4th or 5th test, when we have a lot of cumulative information on there. You can quickly go back in your USA and you can look up, what was safety about week 2 and week 1? What were we talking about? And then you can find it there. All right. Lastly, if you want to know more about our content breakdown and where you're going to, like, what you're learning about, there's a link to it here, as well as here's my Zoom meeting link. I'll show you where to find that in Schoology right now. Okay, just some resources for you just to understand where are we going, why we're learning what we're learning, because everything kind of fits together and builds off of one another. So that's why we want you to master something now so you can use it later as well. All right, so I want to go back to Schoology and just kind of show you a day in the life and what you're going to wind up doing. So basically, I'm just looking at one of these classes. I have a few extra things on the side here, but you're going to have all your test dates on the side. So you'll always have a little reminder of, I have a test August 17th, September 15th, and so on. You can kind of check that out and plan accordingly. All right. The agenda is going to be really, really nice for you to take a look at your week at a glance. Okay. That is where that's going to be located. Again, this is what your week at a glance looks like. And it's just tells you exactly what's going on in that day. All right. So you click on that link, boom, you know what's going on. All right. Again, that'll be posted before the week starts, usually the day before. So Sunday at 5 o'clock, I believe it should be posted. All right. Class materials, this is what you're going to be using most often. Okay. This one's unhighlighted because I unpublished it, but you'll have one folder a week that you're going to work through. All right. So here we have, this would be August 11th through August 14th, which is going to be our first week of school. You're going to click on that, and it's going to bring you to each and every day. All right, and so you also have your week at a glance here in case you forgot about it, but now you can open up each day's folder and you can figure out exactly what you need to do. All right, so here we have our science daily attendance. This is the warm-up that you need to complete. This should be the first thing you do. Complete it, and then you're going to check out the videos that you need to watch in order for that day or the assignments that you need to do. All right, remember, sometimes you'll have to complete all these puzzle pieces, and sometimes here you have an option. It's like a get to know you activity. You can do it with a video or you can write it. Okay, so we like to give options in science, but let's just keep working through the week. Again, science daily attendance, boom, got to make sure you get that done. All right, so that we know that you were in class that day. All right, then we're reading our safety contract. Okay, again, daily attendance. We have our procedure slideshow. That's where this video is. And then lastly, we have our milk lab is going to be at the end of the week. All right, so keep all of that in mind as we move forward. This is kind of what it's going to look like. If you're looking for the link for my Zoom, it's in helpful links, and it says Mr. Eisnes' Zoom link. So at the beginning of your class, whatever period you're in, whether that be second, third, fourth, fifth, according to the schedule, whenever the class is supposed to start, you're going to meet in that Zoom link, and we'll have a little talk, at least while we're completely online, and then we'll be able to send you on your way to get accomplished what you need to get accomplished. All right, but that is one option for you. All right, is to click that Zoom link at the beginning of class, check in with me, ask any questions you need to. That's what we're going to be doing for the first 2 weeks while we're completely online. All right, guys, it's a lot of talking. Feel free to pause the video and go back and rewind, or remember, as always, you can always fast forward these videos as well if you think I'm going too slow for you. So anyways, I'm super excited to meet you guys. I'm super excited to interact and get things going. It's going to be a really fun school year. You guys are super resilient and ready to go. And so this will be awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Peace.